Hi there and welcome to Tech Tuesday. Today we're talking crank and cam sensors. Being the two most important sensors on your engine, it's important to fit, wire and configure the crank and cam sensors correctly. First, sensor type, Hall effect or Reluctor. A Hall effect sensor typically has 3 wires, it's got power, signal and ground. A Hall effect sensor produces a consistent digital square wave signal each time a magnet or ferrous metal passes the tip of the sensor, regardless of the speed at which the trigger material passes. This makes configuring the ECU to trigger off a Hall effect sensor very simple, as you expect the same signal each time a trigger tooth passes the sensor. Make sure to choose a Hall effect sensor compatible with the trigger tooth target material, tooth width, tooth gap, and tooth height. It's important to fit a sensor that can handle the tooth frequency, that is, the number of teeth it can count in a certain amount of time. It's also super important to fit a sensor that doesn't have any fancy filtering built into it, which may cause havoc when you're trying to detect a missing tooth on a crank trigger wheel. Hall effect sensors typically like an air gap, that is the distance between the sensor and the target material, of around 1 millimeter or 40 thou. But this should also be found in the spec sheet for the chosen sensor. Hall effect sensors tend to dislike temperature, so again, make sure to check the spec sheet and don't expect them to work very well above about 90 degrees Celsius unless otherwise stated. A Reluctor sensor, on the other hand, is typically a 2-wire sensor and doesn't have any fancy electronics inside. It's made up of a permanent magnet, a ferromagnetic pole piece, and a coil of wire. Each end of that coil of wire is referred to as the Reluctor positive and the Reluctor negative, which are signals that are fed into the ECU. Because of the lack of electronics inside the Reluctor sensor, they can typically handle higher temperatures than the Hall effect sensors. It's not unusual to see them working in environments up and over 200 degrees Celsius. But there is a downside. The air gap between the Reluctor sensor and the trigger material is critical. It must be exactly the same between teeth, as should the Hall effect trigger, but it's probably a bit less important. And it's a much tighter gap, down to around 10 thou or 0.25 mil in most cases. This presents a problem when making the trigger sensor mount, as the margin for error is much less than a Hall effect sensor. Instead of producing an easy to interpret digital square wave like the Hall effect sensor, the Reluctor sensor's output magnitude is proportional to the trigger target speed. Basically, the faster the trigger tooth comes past, the higher the signal voltage is that it will generate. This presents a problem in that the noise the sensor generates also becomes higher, and the exact triggering edge that the ECU calculates the ignition timing off is also more complicated to interpret. That's why there's different circuitry inside the Haltech ECU depending on which sensor you're using. Let's talk about the trigger input. If it's Hall effect sensor, you would use a 5 volt, an 8 volt or a 12 volt supply to the sensor, depending on its requirements, a 0 volt signal ground, and the trigger plus, which is connected to the signal wire from the sensor. If you're using a Reluctor style sensor, you would wire the trigger plus to the positive side of the Reluctor sensor and the trigger negative to the negative side of the Reluctor sensor. Pay special attention to this wiring, as mixing and matching sensor wiring will cause all sorts of nightmares. In summary, Hall effect sensors are easy to mount and easy to configure in the ECU software. However, they don't like getting hot, and depending on the model, may filter or miss teeth that you really want to detect. Reluctor sensors don't mind the heat and are extremely reliable. However, they require time in setting up the trigger voltage versus engine RPM and require a very accurate sensor mount in order to provide a very small gap between the sensor and the trigger tooth to ensure trouble-free operation. In any case, being the most important sensors on your engine, make sure to do it right and ask questions if you're just not sure. And that's it for trigger sensors. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments below. Catch you next week.